to Back to Basics Homestead. My name is Annie. Over the weekend, I started doing the cleanups of the freezers, and I took out 33 pork chops that I had. Our family, we got a pig last year, and we like a little bit of pork chops, but this time I had so much, and I need the freezer space. So I'm gonna do two things with that. One, I remove the bones from the meat. The bones will be for bone broth, pork broth, and then I'm gonna can the meat. So I'm gonna have two things out of those things, and I'm gonna walk you through what I do. But this is not a how-to, because this is my third recipe that I'm doing pressure canning. I'm just gonna show you a little bit of overall process. It's gonna take a couple of days to do all of that. The pressure canner is now full of cubes, and I took out my rotisserie. I think this one is a 16 quart. I love doing broth in this. I'm just gonna stick everything, all the ingredients is here. You know, this is you can do it like all cute and cuddly, but you don't have to. I just cut my vegetables in quarters and put it in there. And this onion is a little bit tired, so I'm removing what's tired. And I went to the garden, I harvested some herbs, so I have some fresh parsley, some golden oregano, some thyme. My rosemary was not ready, so and then I have a couple cloves of garlic and these two onions, salt and pepper, and the bones. And I'm gonna put the fat also. This is gonna be done in a couple days. I'm gonna let this cook for a minimum of 12 hours, up to 24, strain it, and then leave it in the fridge so the fat can reach the top and I can remove it. From what I'm reading, it's better to remove the fat because it, like, long period of being canned can actually leave like this weird taste to it. thyme, oregano. The only thing I'm missing is salt, pepper, water, and the bones. I had 33 chopped. And this is almost full. Oh, forgot to put the garlic. This is the last of the garlic of this year. I think I have like 1 or 2 cloves yet for fresh eating. The rest is either dehydrated, canned, or in olive oil in the fridge because they were starting to be soft and germinate. And this year's garlic is about to be harvested in maybe a little bit over a month. I changed my mind. I went and snuck under, and I put the herbs, the garlic, the onions on top. And we're gonna add water. And try not to make an epic mess. If you don't have a roaster, you could do this in a, not the Instant Pot, the slow cooker. Add a little bit of peppercorn. And some salt. Super easy. Broth is super easy to make. It's only the waiting part that's a hassle, but this has been vented steady, so I'm putting a timer of 10 minutes and then I will be able to put my weight. But like I said, this is not a how-to video. I want you to learn the basics of pressure canning, but I also want you to face your fear and do some reading on your own. The only way I was able to face my fear of the pressure canner is I watched videos, I read, I found books that I can actually read, feel comfortable, and this is the only way I was able to feel secure and not like panic when I'm doing pressure canning. So I encourage you to find documents, videos about pressure canning, find your recipes, and then give it a try. I've put in place my rotisserie, and I'm putting it like in the middle of 250 to 300 degrees. And if you have a slow cooker and you want to do the same thing, it's on the low setting. It's back in. I start my timer. Timer went off, and this is where I turn off the heat and let this thing go for many hours. I do not touch anything until the valve has gone down and the pressure has went way down. This is a precaution that I'm taking because in here, everything is boiling hot. So if I open it too fast, you're gonna have a siphoning effect, and that can actually prevent your jars to seal. So this is a specific step that I really make sure that I do, and I try not to rush anything to make sure that all those jars seals perfectly, because all that work, you don't want like all your jars not to seal. I will show you what all these jars looks like in a couple of hours. next day. This morning when I got up with the kids, I turned off the roaster and I just slightly opened the lid so that most of the heat can get out. Now it's the second part, which is straining it and then putting it in the fridge so that the fat content goes up. Since I was in the house and I wanted to utilize the time I'm in the house, I was inspired by Tammy from the Rebel Canner channel. She just canned and published a video about concentrated tea for the summer, so iced tea. And I might also do an experiment, and if you want to see it here, let me know in the comments below. I want to try sun tea. I'm gonna have this 5 pints concentrated in the pantry, so on days that I'm in a rush, I can just take out a bit of water, ice, and have an iced tea ready. But I also want to do that experiment of in the morning I prepare the water, put the tea bags, and have this in a couple of hours in late afternoon iced tea. If you want me to show this on the channel, let me know in the comments below. So now I'm gonna strain the broth. But first, fuel. About 5.5 liters of broth. I am seeing a very thick line of fat. I'm gonna put it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Best case scenario, after dinner tonight, I can can it. It's not a very long process. It's same process as the cubes, but the time is lower. Worst case scenario, I'm gonna can it in the morning, but at least I'll have close to, I would say at least, if I remove the fat line, probably 6 quarts. Probably. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I still have to figure out if I'm gonna pressure can it in 500 ml pints or quarts, 1 liter. I don't know. I usually can chicken in 1 liter, but I like to have both option because some recipes will call for 500 ml, 2 cups, or 4 cups, 1 liter. I don't know. That part I still have to figure out. But in the fridge, this one goes. I want to show you the fat line. So this is what I'll be removing. Then I will reheat the broth, and then I'm gonna put it in the pressure canner. in 2 days, but it ended up being 3 days. But at least now I have a lot of mason jar filled with food. So this is what the broth looks like, the pork broth. It looks really great, and I have 6 of these. And I also did off camera, as I was straining and waiting for the broth to finish draining, I did some tea concentrate. I will be, well, iced tea concentrate. I will be doing a video on this because I have a feeling I'm gonna really enjoy this. I'm gonna do another 5 pints of these and make sure to film it to show it with you guys. And you saw the pork, and I also harvested some beautiful flowers. Now it's 1 day dehydrated, so I have some thyme, some chamomile, some violas, some red clover, and I started harvesting some rose. All of this is for future tea blends and medicinal purposes. So I thank you for passing by the homestead these 3 days, canning with me, maybe learning a little bit. But remember, if you want to can or pressure can, do what is needed to feel comfortable, secure to can. And if you can do like me, to face my fear of pressure canning, I watched videos, I read a lot, but my first canning session, I could not get anyone here at my house, but I did have someone do like a Zoom conference call with me. It was a Zoom or Messenger conference call, and she was with me every step of the way. But here's another trick. After doing that recipe with her, the first thing I did is the next day I canned again on my own. And I didn't tell her, I just decided I was gonna do it. And that's how, so I faced my fear of doing it, but then I got on the wagon again and I did it again. And I keep making sure to include recipes on a regular basis so I get more and more comfortable using the pressure canner. And I think this is, if you're like me and you're terrified of pressure canner, I think this was how I was able to face most of my fears. The rest will be on, the rest will probably get resolved with me doing more and more recipes. I still have to do the cleanup of the chicken in my freezers, so there will be more pressure canning over the next month. I also have to can my dried beans to make sure that my pantry is available for all these tea blends and all these things that I'm dehydrating this year that I was not doing in the previous year. So I thank you for passing by the homestead today. Have a blessed day. Take care. Bye.